أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء والسيد المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم، وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. وبعد. Alhamdulillah, we give Allah thanks and praise for bringing us together once again here to reflect on this. So we continue, inshallah, looking at Surah Hud, Surah 11. In our last session, we reached up to 63, ayah 63. So inshallah, we start with 64 today, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. ويا قوم هذه ناقة الله لكم آية فذروها تأكل في أرض الله ولا تمسوها بسوء فيأخذكم عذاب قريب. فعقروها فقال تمتعوا في داركم 3 أيام ذلك وعد غير مكذوب. فلما جاء أمرنا نجينا صالحا والذين آمنوا معه برحمة منا من خزي يومئذ إن ربك هو القوي العزيز. وأخذ الذين ظلموا الصيحة فأصبحوا في ديارهم جاثمين كأن لم يغنوا فيها ألا إن ثمود كفروا ربهم ألا بعد لثمود. Translation reads, and he said, and O my people, this she-camel of Allah is assigned to you, so leave her to feed and graze in Allah's land, and touch her not with evil, lest a near torment should seize you. But they killed her. And so he said, enjoy yourselves in your homes for 3 days. This is a promise that will not be denied. So when our command came, we saved Salih and those who believed with him by a mercy from us and from the disgrace of that day. Verily your Lord, he is the all-strong, the almighty. And the Sayha overtook the wrongdoers, so they lay dead prostrate in their homes, as if they never lived there. No doubt, verily Thamud disbelieved in their Lord, so away with Thamud. We continue the story here, along the narrative continue of the Salih and his people, the people of Thamud. And as we mentioned, these were one of the old peoples from before the early peoples, because these are the very early peoples that were there, that came one after the other, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised prophets among them, one after the other, from the early people, beginning from Prophet Noah alayhi salatu wasalam and coming down. So the Thamud was one of those early people of that time. And so Prophet Salih spoke to the people and he invited them to the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and so on. But these people, they were obstinate. They were very obstinate people, like their predecessors, those who came before them. That was the Ad. Right? You know, the Ad were the people that came before them. The Ad, and then Thamud came after the Ad. And so they challenged Salih, because they said, you're a human being like us. You know, we don't see you, accept you as no messenger. We don't accept you as a prophet. As I said in Surah 26, ayah 154, they said, ما أنت إلا بشر مثلنا فأتنا بآية إن كنت من الصادقين. It says, you are but a human being just like us. So bring us a sign if you are truthful, if you are therefore who you say you are. And so they demanded a sign from Prophet Salih. Like most other people, okay, bring us proof that you are who you say you are. And this is always usually that they argue, they demanded a sign, always demanded a sign. And so in other words, they want a miracle. They want a miracle. Show us something that we can believe you are who you are. Right? And so when you ask for something that when it comes you should accept it. Because that's what you asked for. You should accept it. But these people were arrogant. And so because when you ask for such kind of evidence and proof, it doesn't don't come like that. Whenever it comes, it always has some consequences. Because if it comes and then you don't believe, then what? Right? So it always comes with consequences. That's why the Prophet Allah command the Prophet to say, say that if this matter was between you and I, it would have been settled already. It won't be dragging on like this. Had it been just a matter between you and I, this matter, we would have settled this long. But it is not about me. This is from Allah, and Allah does what He wants whenever He wants. So this matter is like that. Ayah 154. 154 from Surah 26. So it comes with consequences. So right away he says, Salih said to them, وَيَا قَوْمِ هَذِهِ نَاقَةُ اللَّهِ. Okay, you want a sign? This is the sign from Allah. This she-camel. This is, the naqa is a she-camel. Jamal is usually a male camel. Naqa is a female camel. Alright? So the naqa for Allah lakum. This is Allah's she-camel, and it is the ayah you asked for. It is a sign for you. This is the potent sign or the miracle that you asked for. Here it is. And so they can see that this is a miracle because the camel appeared just like that. Right? It appeared like that. They didn't see it walking up. He said, this is the camel, and the camel appeared. Alright? There are some, the Quran, nor the Hadith gives the actual detail of how the camel, there's some read the books on history, and they say, well, the camel came out of a rock. Allah knows best. Right? Because the ayah doesn't say it came out of a rock, and the Hadith doesn't say it came out of a rock. Right? I'm not right. But you read it in the books, especially even the great chosen stories, they say that it came out of a rock, and Allah knows best. All right, but all the ayahs, the Quran says is that He says this is the she-camel from Allah, and the camel appeared. Right, whether it came out from the rock or where it came out from, Allah knows best. But it appeared, so it was a miracle. They know that it's a miracle because there was no camel, and the camel just appeared like this. They said this camel was huge, unlike the other camels that they had. Because these people, they live in the desert, so they use camels, so they know what camel is like. This camel was different from all the other camels. It was bigger than all the other camels. All right? So they know that this is a special camel. So it's not like they were confused as to what it was. They knew it wasn't the ayah. It wasn't ayah. It wasn't evidence, a miracle that was there. It appeared, this huge camel appeared just like that. Right? Before them, as son. This is the camel, this camel is Allah's she-camel. Look, فَذُوهَا تَأْكُلْ فِي أَرْضِ اللَّهِ. leave it to graze and eat from, Allah's land. This is Allah's camel, let it eat in Allah's land. You don't mess with it. Don't mess with it. You ask for it, leave it alone. Right? And this, so they recognize the sign of it, He says, قال هذه ناقة الله لها شرب ولكم شرب يوم معلوم. Right, in Surah 26, Ayah 155. The story of Salah is also taught in many other surahs. So this part, Surah 26, some surah we mentioned that's not earlier, right? Allah says, called هذه ناقة الله ناقة. He said, this is a she camel. لها شرب ولكم شرب يوم معلوم. Right? It has a camel. This is she camel. For her is a time to drink from the well, from the water hole, and a time for you to drink at a time that is known. So there was alternate days. In other words, the she camel will drink today, and tomorrow you and your will drink from it. Your people will drink from it. Right? Because it said that the camel, whenever it drank all the water from the water hole. So you have to spring it again back again. But it said that also when the camel gave milk, that it gave enough milk for everybody to drink. So they got enough milk from it to drink. So it drank all the water, but they all got milk to drink as a result of it. Because it produced milk for everybody to drink. So they got benefits from it. Right? They got benefits from it, even though it was inconvenient that one day they had to skip a day for drinking water. They couldn't get for that day. So he says, you have the specific days that you drink, the next day they drink. وَلَا تَمَسُّوهَا بِسُوءٍ, and do not cause it any harm. فَيَأْخُذَكُمْ عَذَابُ يَوْمٍ عَظِيمٍ, because you'll be seized by the punishment of a terrible day. In this, here it says, in the ayah it says, وَلَا تَمَسُّوهَا بِسُوءٍ فَيَأْخُذَكُمْ عَذَابٌ قَرِيبٌ. عَذَابٌ قَرِيبٌ. Alright, here Allah subhanahu and He says, don't cause her any harm, at least a swift punishment. Punishment, it comes soon like that. A swift punishment. Adhabun Kareem. A swift punishment will seize and overtake you if you cause harm to the camel. And so the reality is that when you make a request like this for a sign, you got to respect the sign. Right? You respect the sign. You don't respect it, then you get problems. And that's why Allah's, anytime you go over it, the punishment is always shadid, or kareem, or areen, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses these strong terms for the punishment you can get. Because you ask for a sign, you get it, and then you don't. It doesn't move you. It doesn't move you. So the results is severe. It's different if you didn't ask for a sign. But once you ask for it, this is, you better believe. Right? You better believe. That is basically what it's saying, And this is how it's been. Like when the disciples asked Isa alayhi salam, Jesus, for a special sign. And they said exactly what they wanted as a special sign. Right? They said, could you, Lord, set down for us a table spread with nice food, heavenly food that we can eat from it. Isa alayhi salam said, you mean you don't believe? They said, no, we believe. It's just like we just want to bring confirmation to our hearts. Right? And I will come as evidence for you. That you are the messenger. It comes as evidence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when Isa alayhi salam made dua to Allah, he says, oh Allah, send down for us a ma'id. Send down for us a table spread with food. that we can eat for all of us. And let us eat from. Allah says, call Allah. Allah responded saying, Inni munazziluha, right? Inni munazziluha alaykum. Right? I will send it down to you. فَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بَعْدُ, but whoever from you should disbelieve thereafter, right? فَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بَعْدُ مِنْكُمْ, whoever of you disbelieves after this, فَإِنِّي أُعَذِّبُهُ عَذَابًا لَا أُعَذِّبُهُ أَحَدًا مِنَ الْعَالَمِينَ. Then I will give him a punishment that I have not, a punishment as such severe that I've never shown or given to any people from the Alameen, Alam al-Ins wal Jinn. I never present no Ins or no Jinn like that before. I'll give them the most severe punishment if you disbelieve after this comes to you. Because they ask for a specific ayah. Something specific. They want this specific thing. Allah said, I'll give it to you, but if you disbelieve, you're going to get it. And you're going to get it like they ain't give it to nobody before. And this is how severe it is, because that's tahdeed. Because the purpose of ayah is to confirm the truth, right, and help you to believe. Is to bring awe and fear into your hearts, that you would submit, right? You will give in and submit, because here is produced it. Strong dalil. Yes, because it's the dalil. That's why Musa, after 9 potent signs to Pharaoh, Musa made his dua against Pharaoh and his people. He says, Allah, you give them wealth and this and that and that and that, but they cause misguidance to your people. Right? These people, and they don't believe, they don't listen at all. He says, Allahumma matnis ala qulubihim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seal their hearts. That's what he said. Allah, seal their hearts so that they will not believe until they see the punishment. He made the door against them. And we know the prophets, all the prophets, the prophet tell us, he tell us that prophets were given a special dua. That la yurad, a dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to use it, Allah can answer that. It will never be refused. And he says, all the prophets before me, they used the dua on their people. They used the dua on their people. He said, as for me, right? He says, I save mine so I can use it on Qiyamah to help my people. Because he was Rahmatan lil Alameen. He's Rahmatan lil Alameen. He says, I save mine for Qiyamah so that I can help my people. Right? So he got special dua that he can ask Shafa'ah for the believers. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those. Right? But so, most of them, the prophets, use their dua and call them curse on the people. They call them people curse on the people. Isa alayhi salam, he cursed the people. He called them curses on his own people because of their obstinacy and disrespect and disbelief and arrogance. Right? He called them curses on them. Even when you read the Bible, you see it. You generation of vipers, you workers of iniquity, you wicked and adulterous generation. And how long shall I how long shall I bear you? And he curses them out all the time. Right? He curses them all the time because of their wickedness. Their wickedness. So if you read the New Testament, Jesus be coming down on them. because of their wicked and evil ways. The Prophet here, so Prophet Saleh, you know, he's telling them, look, this is what's going to happen to you, because the potent signs were given for this reason. Allah says, وَمَا نُرْسِلُ بِالْآيَاتِ إِلَّا تَخْوِيفًا. Right? We did not send a sign except to make people afraid of the destruction or the punishment, so they will submit and believe. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent to them. He sent to them the she camel. I don't need any more. Yeah? He sent the she camel. All right? And he sent the she camel, and this camel, they know that it is a sign. Right? So it is not like it's confused about it. They know it's a sign. It appeared miraculously before them, right? From nowhere, and like almost out of thin air, it appears miraculously before them. It is different to all the other camels. So they can see this is something unique about this camel. There's something unique about this camel. It's different to all the camels we know. It's a camel, but it's different to all the ones that we know. And this camel will drink all the water for that particular day. And you know, from that water hole. They'll drink all the water, and they have to wait till the next day when the spring fall back, the thing for them to get water again. So they'll drink water just follow again. And they did tolerate this for a while. Right? They did tolerate this for a while because they were afraid of the camel. I mean, to an extent, because this is, you know, what happened, you know, how it was, right? So they were like that. They didn't, you know, they went on like in this manner, right? And for a while, and after a while, they get, you know, but this camel, I mean, this camel bugging us. This camel bugging us. So of course the discussion started among themselves. To discuss, especially the arrogant ones from among them. You know, why do we allow this camel to create this discomfort and this problem for us, you know? We can't drink water when we want to drink it. This is our water, and this and that, and, you know. So it did go on among them, and it started with it. Conversation started among themselves. Right? And so this, you know, that's why Allah says, فَأَقَرُوهَا, so they come strong. Yeah. So because this was the situation with them. They did not believe in fully believe in Salih. So even though they asked for this miracle and he produced a miracle for them, they still didn't believe. Because had they fully believed in him, they would not have gone after the camel. But you know, when it came out, there was initial fear. So they left it, you know, they didn't do any so. But it went on for a little while, but then after, they get more brave, and they get more bold, and they discuss it. Look, we need to get rid of this camel. And so they went like that, so they were afraid of it. But, you know, the arrogance got the better of them. The arrogance got the better of them. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَالَ الَّذِينَ اسْتَكْبَرُوا, you know, because they had discussions with the believers and the people, the people of the society people, you know. They said to the poor people who joined Salih, who believe in him, you know, do you believe that Salih was really a messenger sent from his Lord? And they say, yes, we believe. Yeah? But so there says, he says, they said to him, well, that what you believe, we disbelieve it. We disbelieve it. So even though after the camel came, their disbelief was there because of the arrogance. Right? They said, we still disbelieve. We don't believe that he's the one. For Naka. And so they hamstrung the camel. وَأَتَوْا عَنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّهِمْ. And so they went against the order of their Lord. وَقَالُوا يَا صَالِحُ ائْتِنَا بِمَا تَعِدُنَا إِن كُنتَ مِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. And it says, oh Salih, you bring what you promise. You know, Salih said that, you know, if you do it, they can get a punishment, swift punishment. He said, bring it on. Yeah? They said, bring it on. That's what they said to Salih.
Florida.
Huh?
Florida.
Florida, yes. He said, bring it on. Yeah. If you really see it, bring it on. And so this was the situation with them, you know, that they begin to argue on this. Right? They begin to go on this manner. فَأَكَرُوهَا, and so they hamstrung the camel. Hamstrung the camel. That they did slaughter the neck of the camel because the camel was a big camel. So to stop the camel from going, they cut the tendons of the camel. Right? You know, if you cut this tendon here, you can't walk. All right? And when you cut this tendon, it's called the Achilles tendon. If it break or it pop, you know you can't walk at all. Because this is important for us to help us to walk. This Achilles tendon here is important for us to be able to walk. If you don't have this, you can't walk. Period, you can't walk. You're not protected. And so this is what they did. They cut the tendons of the camel. That's what we call hamstrung. I'm showing you. They cut the tendons of the camel so the camel could not walk anymore. So the camel died. Right? The camel died as a result because it can't walk. It can't go to the water, the hole to get no water or anything. So it died. Right? That's what they did. So they hamstrung فَأَقَرُوهَا, they cut the camel. فَقَالَ, and so Salih said to them, تَمَتَّعُوا فِي دَارِكُمْ ثَلَاثَ أَيَّامٍ. He says, you enjoy yourself in your homes for 3 days. In other words, you got 3 days to enjoy yourself. You have 3 days to enjoy yourself before the punishment come on you. Okay? And he said, فَيَأْخُذَكُمْ عَذَابٌ ذَلِكَ وَعْدٌ غَيْرُ مَكْذُوبٌ. And there's no denying that promise. Right? There's not. So enjoy yourself for the next 3 days. Right? This is wa'id. Right? Wa'id. This is what do you call it?
It's like promise.
It is a promise, but
Certain promise.
Yeah, it's a promise, a certain promise, but it's like a threat.
It's a promise with certainty.
It is a threat. You know, it's a serious threat. You know, it's not just a promise, but it's a threat. You better watch yourself. Right? That kind of threat. Right? You better watch yourself. That is what this statement is like. ذَلِكَ وَعْدٌ غَيْرُ مَكْذُوبٌ is a promise that is not denied. So it comes as a threat, a wa'id, a threat. You know, he said, don't take, in other words, don't take what I'm saying lightly.
Yeah.
Don't take what I'm saying lightly. You got 3 days, and there's no joke. Right? So seriously, he speaks to them. This is what you want to do. And then Allah says, فَلَمَّا جَاءَ أَمْرُنَا نَجَّيْنَا صَالِحًا وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مَعَهُ بِرَحْمَةٍ مِنَّا. So when our command came, we saved Salih and those who believed along with him. وَمِنْ خِزْيِ يَوْمَئِذٍ, and we saved them from the disgrace of the day, that day. What happened to them? Inna rabbaka huwa al-qawiyul aziz. Verily your Lord is the mighty, He is the strong and the mighty. And so they did not believe, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala caused the punishment therefore to fall on them. Right? The punishment came on them and destroyed them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَخَذَ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا الصَّيْحَةُ فَأَصْبَحُوا فِي دِيَارِهِمْ جَاثِمِينَ. And so the punishment came. There are different terms that are used for the punishment in the different ayahs that reports this. The punishment of the Thamud, it says sayha, right? And this one it said sayha, which means an awful cry or mighty blast. And another ayah Allah says, you know, the earthquake, right? But all of it is like that. It's just talking about different aspects of it. It was this huge noise, whether it's from the quirking of the earth or the noise from the sky, the thunderbolt from the sky, or what. There was this huge, when the punishment came, it came with a loud noise. Whatever punishment it was. Whether either the earth was quaking or a thunderbolt came from the skies, or so it was a loud noise, that, you know, deafening noise that came with an awful sound. Right? It's this awful sound. Whatever, you know, was that punishment. An awful sound. And it caused every one of them to die. Kill everyone. Allah says, you know, that أَصْبَحُوا فِي دِيَارِهِمْ جَاثِمِينَ. They remain lifeless, like corpse, dead corpse in their houses. They come completely wiped off. They all wiped off. All of them. Every one of them was dead. It killed every one of them. Not one of them remained. Only Salih and the believers were saved. Only Salih and the people, and you know, Allah says, كَأَلَّمْ يَبْنَوْا فِيهَا. It was as though they didn't even live, they never lived there. Allah wiped them off like they were never alive. He took them out like they were never alive. They never habitated that place. That's how Allah wiped them out. Without trace. Without trace, He took them out. And that's the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, and that because these people don't believe, they didn't believe. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did with the early people, those early people. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَلَا إِنَّ ثَمُودَ كَفَرُوا رَبَّهُمْ. Lord, the people of Thamud disbelieve in their Lord. They disbelieve in their Lord. In other words, they deserve what they got. They deserve what they got. They disbelieve in the Prophet Saleh. Okay, if they say that they were skeptical at first, look, you're a human being. You're just from one of us. You know, and we don't really believe that we think you're just making it up. We don't believe that you are a prophet, you know, a messenger as you claim you are. We don't believe that, you know. And if you are, bring some proof. Give us a sign. Give us some important sign. Something that will make us believe you. So, He did this, but it did not. You know, it quieted them for a little bit, but it did not cause them to believe. It didn't cause them to believe. So therefore, even with this, it is not, therefore, there was nothing, no benefit to come from them. Like Noah alayhi salatu wasalam, 950 years. And you preach and preach and preach and preach and, you know, they don't care. They simply don't care. So what you do? Get rid of them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the power to just wipe them off and replace them. So you join all of them and replace them with other people. And then the eye came and the same thing. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent on them the wind and destroyed them. Then the Thamud come, same walking in the footsteps. Right? That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called them the Ahzab. He called these people Ahzab, the troops that came before. One after the next, Allah destroyed. One after the next, Allah destroyed. One after the next, and destroyed. Because this one was destroyed, so they know about those people before them, and they still were going to follow them. Because the Ad come before the Thamud. So they know the evil people. And Kamalu, Noah came before. So the Ad knew about the people of Noah. They were descendants from there. Thamud know about the Ad. So it's not like they're not aware of what happened to the people before. And this is supposed to give us, this was the end. We're supposed to take some sort of thing from it. Exhortation from it. From what gone before. That's why Allah says, Siru fil ard, fanzuru, travel in the land and see, witness what happened to those people before you. And you can travel in the land and see. Allah says that, you know, they have athar. Athar would be like remnants, traces and remnants of those civilizations that were greater than yours. To this day, people are still trying to figure out, scientists still trying to figure out, how these Egyptians build these pyramids? They're trying to figure it out. They, up till now, with all the mathematics that they have, all the scientific theories that they have, and until now they cannot figure out how they built the pyramids. The fantastic civilization, what happened to them?
It's just one of the wonders.
Yeah, that's called one of the wonders of the world. One of the wonders. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you know, travel in the land and see the civilization that has gone before, the Mesopotamian civilization. One of the great civilizations that has gone before. Look at this civilization, even in this part of the world. Look at the Aztecs and the Mayans and, you know, and these great civilizations that is inspired because they have civilizations only in the eastern part of the world. They have civilizations down here. I know people don't recognize them because they were not Europeans. So people don't really, you know, see them or recognize them. But these civilizations long before the Europeans was anywhere. The Aztecs, you know, and the Mayans. They were great civilizations. They were pyramids too. Huh? So they're a great civilization from this part of the world also. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, He sent a prophet to every people. وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولٍ. And we raise among every people a messenger saying to them, أَنْ يَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ. Worship Allah alone and stay away from false deities. So all people have received a prophet. So don't think that the Aztecs didn't get a prophet, and the Mayans didn't get a prophet, and everybody got messengers. Everybody. Allah said, to everybody, they all received. And Allah says, travel in the land and look at the Torah. Look at what is left behind. What happened to these people? Look at them. Take out from it. Learn from them. Learn from them what happened. That this great civilization is sitting here. You can see this was a great civilization. The Greco-Roman civilization. Huh? Look at them. Look at the Greeks. Look at the Romans. You know, all these are civilizations that we know of. We read them in history books. They all passed. We are there. What happened to them? Allah destroyed all of that.
We see big, great stadiums,
Yes.
you know?
Muslim, and you know.
That's left, humble stadiums.
Yes. You can see that a lot of stuff still sitting around. You can go around Europe and see it. You can go around Europe, go Greece and, you know, Rome and places and still see those places still exist. Or you can go far east, right? You can go far east to the Tibetan civilizations and those civilizations in Far East. You can see. Or in India. India, they used to do like the Tamil people. They used to hew building out of rock. Because, you know, temples and stuff like that. And you can still see it. Out of the rock. You know, they go down and they side of the mountain and they cut it out of the mountain, out of the right of the rock. Yeah. You can still see that stuff. All that stuff is available. You can see it. So it's not that these people were just silly. These people were civilized, great civilizations. Right? That they left traces that we can see the greatness of that civilization. How powerful it was. The kind of technology. You think people think that you only got technological civilization today? What are you talking about? There are technological civilizations before. Because the mere fact that these people today, with the level of technology, they cannot figure out how they take these 600-ton boulders from the upper part of Egypt and bring them down to the area and raise them up and put them in a pyramid. And put it so exact and precise. How did they do it? And they tried all kind of methods and they cannot figure out how they did it. To this day. They were able to develop the science of embalming. They didn't have no formaldehyde. Right? And even with the most advanced embalming techniques today, if they don't continue to treat that body, to embalm the body today, if they don't continue to treat it, it rots. So learning the body of learning and so that sits there, they gotta treat it all the time. If they don't continue to treat it, it rots. And you got Ramses and all those fellas, their bodies sit there to this day. It don't rot. So the people, you can go see them. You can go to the museum in Cairo and see them sitting there, laying down there. Yes, they're there. How did they do this stuff? Yeah. So they had stuff that was more advanced than modern technology. They had stuff that was more advanced than modern technology in many ways. They didn't have computers, but
Yeah, we know of.
we know of. But they were advanced civilization. I know people trying to put those down and trying to make this civilization bigger than the more. It's not so. They were great. So look at the Torah. That's why Allah says, travel and see. Some of them were greater than our civilization. Some of them were greater than our civilization. And Allah dealt with them because they won't believe. They're all gone. So we take Ether. This story is for that purpose. This way Allah reminds us about these people, the Thamud, the Ad, and the Thamud.
They found an ancient cell phone. You know, designed just like our cell phone, but it had Arabic numbers on it and stuff like that, different kind of phonetic numbers, but it was designed just like our cell phone.
They had different ways of, you know, I mean, their civilization existed and they have, as I said, they have actual Torah, things that you can see.
Yeah.
You know, and it puzzles them. How did they do this?
Yeah.
How did they do that? But they had to be great civilization in terms of carving. When you come through Mexico and the giant heads that are on the scale of the Sphinx, you know, they got giant heads that uncovered in Mexico, and they're on the scale of the Sphinx. Yeah. They're on the scale of the Sphinx.
We talk about
These
human
people,
heads?
yes,
Wow.
those giant African heads in Mexico that are on the scale of the Sphinx. You know, when the seven Alexander went to Egypt and he saw the Sphinx, he couldn't believe this. And he blew the nose off there of the Sphinx.
Nose wasn't pointy enough, right?
No, it wasn't pointy. It was the African
That's why he did that.
African nose. He couldn't believe
You
it.
see the broad African nose, he didn't like that. It
No,
was
he
pointy
blew,
enough.
so he blew the nose off. That's why the Sphinx, the nose, you know, the Sphinx, the nose is half the nose blown off. Yeah, he did it. He did it because he couldn't believe that when he saw it. How these people were the builders? That's why they came in. Maybe some people from Mars came and built the pyramid. Because that level of civilization, they couldn't imagine that level of civilization existed in Africa. Huh? They couldn't believe that level of civilization existed in Africa. And those people came. Because it's proof that, you know, that the people from those civilizations communicated, traveled the Atlantic Ocean, and came to these people because the people here, if you look at the Aztecs and the Mayans, they built, especially Aztecs, they built pyramids similar to the ones in Egypt. Where did they get the knowledge from? Where did they get that? I mean, they had to transfer to bring it over. And these heads that they found in Mexico that are on the scale of the Sphinx, right? They had to get that knowledge that came over. And so that means that they communicated. Those people also communicated with people on this side, in this side of the Atlantic. And there's proof for that. The back in the 60s, in the late 60s, I think it was, a Norwegian explorer by the name of Thor Heyerdahl, right? You can look it up. A Norwegian explorer by the name of Thor Heyerdahl, he wanted to prove that the people of Africa came across the Atlantic and landed in the Americas. Right? Well, we call it the Americas. We don't know what the original name was. So we just rename what people call it. All right? And because the Muslims, you know, they call it Ardul Majhul, right? But people call it America. Anyway, so he built in Upper Egypt. He took the bulrushes from the Nile and they built this boat, right? It was called a reed boat, yes, Ra-1, and he set off across the Atlantic Ocean. And then there was a storm, and the boat was destroyed and stuff. And he decided to do a second time. This time again, he built another one made from those bulrushes on the Nile. And he set across the Atlantic. And he came across the Atlantic and he landed up in the Caribbean. Because it's a natural equatorial current that comes directly from Africa into the Caribbean. That's why we get the storm. All the hurricanes that we get They come off from the coast of Africa, they come across from the Sahara, across Africa, comes off the coast of Africa and come through the natural current, sea currents, and come into the Caribbean.
It's almost like a magnetic.
Yes, it comes right into the Caribbean. And then they come up the coast
Right.
till we get it up here. So that's basically how it works. And so he got and he came across. And he proved he landed in the Caribbean, he landed in Barbados. And thus proving that those people came across. This is evidence. You can Google it or so. Thor Haida and Ra 2. And because he named the first one Ra 1, and the second name is like Ra 2. And he came across the Atlantic Ocean. Thor Haida is his name. He was a Norwegian explorer. Right? So it proved that the civilization that they were able to transfer the civilization from over there over here. And they are, which proves that the people of Africa came here long before the Europeans even knew that this place existed. Long before they even knew that this place existed, they came here and transferred them kind of technology into these people over here. But the point is that you can travel and see all this stuff. What happened to all those people? You don't believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is here. And every people has a time. Allah give you a time frame. For every civilization has a time frame. And either they're successful or they go. Because once they refuse to follow the correct way, then Allah allows the bad ones from among them to create enough chaos and confusion to bring their own run of destruction. That's how it works. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِذَا أَرَدْنَا أَنْ every أَرَدْنَا أَنْ نُخْلِكَ قَرْيَةً if we want to destroy a people, أَمَرْنَا مُتْرَفِيهَا when we want to destroy a people, because the mutrafi, the upper class, the classes of the people, we allow them to create corruption. فَفَسَقُوا فِيهَا they create all kind of deviation and corruption. فَحَقَّ عَلَيْهِ الْقَوْلُ so that the order comes justified for them to be destroyed. For the manna and then we destroy them. Absolute destruction. I don't my head in
We just know it.
Sometimes I mix it. You can find that though, but it's not as bag up in the crowd.
Pleases them in the morning.
Yeah.
In the morning.
Some in the morning and some in the evening when they're sleeping.
That's the ayah of today.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says He allowed the people of means, the upper class, the leaders, allow them to create confusion and corruption in the land.
The Trumps.
That leads to destruction. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. Inshallah.
Let us
This is what
be
we have
amongst the
today. Inshallah. Any quick question? Come on before we close.
Assalamu
Sorry, Captain.
I love you. I just love the hikmah that you keep dropping. They said the Columbus read about what you described in the reed boats. The reed boats just gets in the currents, and that's why the masses of people evolved to the Americas, like you say, way long before that, through the ocean, because they had to go to the Muslims to know how to get to them. The reason what took Columbus, they went with sails. What the Africans do, just to get in the currents, pack for 30 days, they come to the Americas, always. The other way, they migrated through the straits of the Geyser Straits. For 5,000 years, they was doing that from all over the areas because they stayed close to the waters and they would come on down. 60,000 Indians they destroyed. There were 66 million Indians in this country. There's only 6 million left. They annihilated from the concept of what you did describe when Columbus them came.
Yeah, Columbus was
When they- and like you say, the social order you just described, that's what's going on today with the Trumps. And that same concept. But my other question is, all the prophets that you described in this class, people say they believe and then they came back and disbelieved the same kind of way. And when they said Muhammad, Salah, gonna be the seal of all of that, and it proves that. Up to today, what's going on with Trump and his administration. But the other part that I wanted to tell you, because I read your book, and the consistency that you dealing with humanity from Adam to the day, that how they defied the prophets, is the area of, and I keep elaborating because I'm reading that portion again, but you elaborated in your book, of the ruling in Spain from the 700s to the 1400s. The same exact thing from humanity to the day. If you read that portion between them 700 years, the Europeans stayed because the Muslims was beating them all that time during the Spanish acquisition they controlled. And they got enemies there because they always, a minority force of Muslims, always beat a larger portion of the combined Muslims and the renegade Muslims that went with the Christians. They never forgot about that. That's why they're doing what they're doing today, because they was never able to beat the Muslims. But a smaller force always overcame them. And the Lord was blessed with that. That's why they're doing what they're doing today in the Middle East, because they can't never
Columbus
forget.
was a disaster. He was not a.
Hard.
That present him as a savior. He was not a savior. He was a disaster.
Duh.
He was a disaster to the people of the New World. Yes, he was a disaster. They celebrate him, you know. Europeans, you know, the thing is what they consider the celebration, and they celebrate Columbus Day. We are there to celebrate. It was not about discovering America. It was when they were able to break the back of the Muslims. Thing. That was about. Well, people don't know that was Columbus celebration and what that's all about.
And it's very funny that
It has nothing to do with him discovering anything. Okay, he didn't. Everyone knew he didn't discover nothing.
It was the time of the end of the
He said he was
Crusades.
coming
It
in
was
5,000
when they conquered the Muslim Isabella and Ferdinand were able to drive the Muslims out of Spain.
Yes.
And took it off.
It was a
And they did it with the renegade
That's
Muslims.
the difference. That is what
over
Columbus
Islam,
did about.
yeah.
That's what Columbus
it's
did.
very
They
funny.
don't tell you that.
America, it was supposed to be named after Amerigo Vespucci, and he's the first discoverer that he landed or he set foot in the land.
1716.
And they named it America after
The
him.
ayah, he
And
just-
they don't celebrate him. Nobody knows that name.
17,
And they give
16,
no. I have never heard of any.
17,
American
16.
Vespucci?
Surah
Yeah,
Israel.
Enrico. It's
Ayah
Enrico
16.
Vespucci.
They teach that in the history books.
In the history, but the credit's been given to
Columbus,
Christopher.
yeah.
He's a thief.
Yes.
Surah, Surah
They all
16,
thieves.
In the
Ayah
early part of my
17.
How you gonna discover something that we
17,
didn't
Ayah
know?
16.
They said they was migrating here 5,000 years. From just coming off the coastline, because they combined the people from the Middle East because they had to marry, because there was a nomadic people, so they kept traveling like that.
One we decided to destroy.
Yeah. They give the name to it, you know. But Columbus didn't really do anything.
That's why they say they gotta rewrite the history. That's it. This history, their history,
I like it.
totally out of whack.
They've been doing that for so long.
This history.
They drew it, look, they've always been doing their thing. Even the map, right, the map,
Yeah, it was
the map,
Africa.
it was done all wrong, yes, they did it all wrong. Yeah, the
They
term upside
inverted,
down.
the Africans made it with the bottom on top, and they inverted it so that they could
and
put
make Africa look
Europe on
smaller
the top
than
of Africa
Europe, Europe and America.
They wanted to bleed the Africa on the bottom.
too. Yeah, exactly. They actually inverted the original map. Yeah. They wanted Europe on
Yeah.
top and Africa at the
So
bottom.
it's right, yeah, so it's
Africa
17,
had
yes.
Africa on top. and Europe at the
17,
bottom.
yes.
And they made the first one.
That's all right. They need to write it.
That's all
I
we
didn't hear you. My mind is.
I thought you was good.
You say they gotta rewrite history,
So
but
it's right.
the angels is writing it
NIA
correctly.
60.
Yeah, it's recording, we're still recording here, so.
Yeah,
Well,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
from,
It's still
from
recording.
Solomon alayhi wasalam, he had connection with the jinns, and a lot of signs of how he built his kingdom, and is through the help with the jinns. So you feel a lot of the mysteries that things that we can't grasp and they can't figure out has to do with the people being connected with the jinns.
Not necessarily, because only Suleiman, we only know of Suleiman who had control of the jinn. Right? We don't know of anybody else who been given that kind of authority or power over jinn. Because this is in reference to the dua, of God informs of the dua of Suleiman. He says, "O Allah, ati mulkan, give me a power and authority that you don't give to nobody else."
That was his dua.
Yeah, that was the dua.
That's why
That you don't give to nobody. In other words, this is special for me alone. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a tribe of jinn.
That's why the Prophet Muhammad.
Right? He gave him a whole tribe of jinn that that Allah subjected to Suleiman. And that tribe of jinn used to work for Suleiman, do whatever he wanted. He ordered them to do this and they had to do whatever he tells them to do, they have to do.
They
Right?
didn't do
So it's the divers pearls and whatever they build, whatever he want. Right? That's why, like the great hall in his castle, right? The great hall that he tell the Queen of Sheba, he came and he said, look at the sun, enter into the great hall. And when she saw it, she thought it was a pool of water. So she lifted her claws out because she thought it was a pool of water. And then she stepped in it, and then she realized it's solid ground. And she went, oh. And he says, no, this is polished silver. They polished the silver till it looked like water, it reflected like water. It reflected the light, so it looked like water. So she thought it was water, but it was polished silver.
And we acting like our construction is phenomenal. Yeah, we acting like we doing something nowadays.
And the jinn, after he died, and was still in his cane, they were still working.
Yeah, he had them working and he used to stand up and watch them work.
Termites in this game.
Right? They stand up and watch them work. He had them doing work and he died when he was standing there leaning on his cane, watching them work. And they're working hard all the time. They know that's what it is. Because they had spread the belief that the jinn knows the unseen. That was how they spread the word. That the jinn knew the unseen.
Right.
So people would worship the jinn because they think the jinn knows. People still believe that they know the unseen. All right. So that's the word that was spread. That the belief that was spread that the jinn knows the unseen. Right? When Allah says La ya'lamu al-ghayb illa hu. No one knows the unseen except Allah. But the word spread, and a belief that even is prevalent today, that the jinn knows the unseen.
But they didn't even
So
know he was
Allah
dead.
to destroy and dispel that myth that they knew the unseen, Allah caused Sulaiman to die while standing there before them. And they are working hard, and I know that it's a dead man that they're working for. Allah said, had they known the unseen, لَوْ أَعْلَمَ الْغَيْبَ الْغَيْبِ, had they known the unseen, they would not have been working so hard.
They thought the boss was
Yes, they didn't know he was dead. They didn't know he was dead. That's why they continued working
One
hard.
at a time, because
And that until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala caused, not until the Buddhas, ate the termites, ate the skin.
And he fell.
Right? When they ate the cane, of course, the cane couldn't keep his body up anymore, so he keeled over. Then they realized he was dead.
That termite is no more unseen.
That's it. Suleiman had a special power, that nobody else. That's why even some of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, one night the Prophet was making salah, and one of the Ifrit is one of the powerful jinns, right? Ifrit is, they got different strength and powers among the jinns. But the Ifrit is one of the real powerful ones. He does all kinds of crazy stuff. He got crazy power that Allah gave him. And he came and he kept pushing a flame of fire in the Prophet's face to distract him from making prayer. So every time the Prophet, when he did it, the Prophet, so the Prophet stopped his prayer, he grabbed him and he tied him up. Yes, he grabbed him and he tied him up. And, now the Prophet did his prayer. But he got away anyway. And he told the Prophet told the companions about it the next morning. He said, had not for the dua of your brother Sulaiman, you may still tied up here. Yeah, he would have still tied up, but Sulaiman's, dua that nobody get the power that he, So he couldn't, the Prophet overpowered him, but the Prophet could not keep him subject.
He had to
He
be.
couldn't keep him
Not the
subject.
power, he did.
Yeah, he overpowered him, but he couldn't keep him subject. Only Suleiman had the power to control him. So you hear people talking to them about they control jinn, they are stupid. They're talking nonsense. People don't control it. Nobody can control no jinn. There's only Suleiman, a special job, a special favor that Allah gave to Suleiman. So when you talk about people talking about the control the jinn. No, the jinn control them, but they're so ignorant, they don't even know that they're being controlled. Because they have to do what the jinn said, so that the jinn would serve them.
Will continue to.
If they don't do what the jinn said, and you will not serve them. So basically, it's a contract agreement that you make.
Right.
Right. So that, there's not.
Like musicians in the industry.
He make money. They make, and he be telling them to do all kind of crazy stuff. Drink urine, do this, drink blood, kill this, that, do sacrifice, all kind of crazy stuff, and they'll be doing it. Because he'll do whatever they want. He can make them to levitate, he can call them to fly, he can do all kind of stuff. Make them do, go and steal stuff for them. Yeah, that's what they do. They go and steal stuff. They go someplace and steal somebody's money and bring it to it. They go steal for him and stuff, or they go and travel and get some information from there, bring it and tell you, or they're able to communicate with the Korean of an individual and bring the information back to him. So that he can be telling you about this individual, tell you everything about yourself. Because the Korean know everything about you because he's been with you all the time. So they can come, you make a living, you come and you get the stuff from him, and if you don't give me, because them jinn, especially if they're free, they can punish the other jinn. So they make him, threaten his family or something, Look, threaten his family or hold them hostage or something like that. So you give him the information. Tell him whatever you want. Okay, tell me whatever you want. And then give him all the information. So he spilled the beans on you, and so that the jinn can, come, he can look good for you. So you continue now to serve him. So basically you are serving the jinn. The jinn is serving you. Right? You're not serving, you're not serving, he's not serving you, you serving him.
That's why prayers are important.
That idea about,
That's why
thing is
that is
crazy, man.
Praying
It's
prayers.
crazy. That's something you stay away far from, What? Individual came to me and says, Imam, I want you to get a jinn for me. He came to me. He says, I want you to get a jinn for me. He says, money is no,
Not a question.
it's not a question. Money is not a question. Whatever you want. Whatever you want. Money is no exception. Don't worry about it. See, I mean, my father is a very wealthy man. My father is a very wealthy man. But I need to have a gym. I want to have a gym. Right? I want a gym. I want to have a gym. So and I know you can do it. I said, bro, you got the wrong person. Sorry. I am sorry you got the wrong person.
Just as money is no option, I'm not an option either.
See, I mean, if he knew what I know, he wouldn't have asked that. So and he was, he think it was all about the money.
Exactly.
I pay whatever you ask. It's okay. I can pay. Don't worry. My father's a very wealthy man. Don't worry. It doesn't matter. He came to see me to get a gym. Sorry, man. You got the wrong person. Right? I don't deal with gym business at all. I don't deal with the gym business at all. I'm not in the gym business. I'm not in the gym business. I'm very, very sorry. I'm not in the gym business. I have a lot of cases like that. People come to him. I have a lot of situations like that. People come and say, look, I know you got the power. I know you able, I've observed you for a long time. And I know you got what you're able to do, so and so. I know you're able to do so and so. You can do it. I know you can do it. So I want you to do this for me. All right? I want you to do this for me. I want you to give me the numbers for the lottery. Yeah, how about that? I want people come to that. Yeah, I want people to come to me. I know you can do it. I know you. I've observed you for a long time. I know you can do it. I want you to get the numbers for the lottery.
If anybody could do it, you could do it.
Yes, I know you can do it. He said, one fellow told me, he said, I got some secret knowledge I would share with you. I have some secret knowledge. He said, I would share it with you. If you do this for me, I got some powerful secret knowledge, and I will share that with you. If you do this for me. I've got all this kind of crazy stuff thrown at me. But, may Allah protect us. I always seek Allah's protection, may Allah protect us from such. Inshallah, subhanaka wa bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.